All right, welcome to Fumble Fever. It is a very exciting time of the year. I hope that you're as excited and as ready as I am because the college football playoff is finally here. It's a day from today if you're watching it tonight, or if you're like most people, it's probably tonight. And we're going to start this off by discussing LSU and Oklahoma and the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl played in Atlanta at 4 o'clock p.m. Saturday. We're going to do this game, and in another video, we're going to discuss the
Clemson-Ohio
State game at the Fiesta Bowl over in Arizona. So let's go ahead and get to talking about LSU and Oklahoma. Number 1 LSU taking on number 4 Oklahoma in this matchup. Dylan, go ahead and start us off on some keys to this game.
Pretty much it's going to be an offensive game. Not really much defense here. Other than, LSU does have a way better defense than Oklahoma, I think. But Oklahoma's defense is better than what they were last year. I think this game is going to be a little bit closer than what people think.
Yeah.
But Joe Burrow, he's the main reason why LSU is going to win this one.
Okay. Joe Burrow is obviously a big factor. I think both quarterbacks in this game are going to be my keys to success for both teams. Because if you look at the two teams and you look at the quarterback play from both teams, you have two superhuman type of quarterbacks between both Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts for Oklahoma. And the biggest thing and the really interesting thing that I see between these two quarterbacks is their similarities in the demeanor and the way that they've handled themselves throughout the entire off season. Very calm, very humble, and very motivated to win and to have this hunger about them that just shows to me that they are just never satisfied. If you've watched the interviews that I've seen between Joe Burrow and a lot of the post-game interviews, especially with Jalen Hurts, it's like, okay, congratulations, you got a big win, blah, 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 all this stuff.
And Jalen Hurts always, have you seen where he works out after every game?
Yes, yeah, he works out after every game. He works individually with his receivers. I think they were doing one press conference I remember earlier in the season where there's one of his receivers is up there doing a interview while Jalen Hurts is with the other receiver running routes. When that receiver gets done, he immediately goes over to run routes with Jalen Hurts, and the other receiver, I think one of them was CeeDee Lamb, he comes over and he does his part of the interview. He says, I'm sorry, but this is more important to us right now. Every time I see Jalen Hurts, it's like he's working and he's never satisfied. He has not shown so much happiness or a smile on his face. He wants to win until the job's complete. So he wants to win. Joe Burrow wants to win. They both are competitors, and they're not going to be satisfied at all until they have a national championship. Part of the reason that Jalen Hurts came over from Alabama to start with, because that's what he wanted. He wanted not only to play, but to prove himself to the nation that he's here and that he can bring his team all the way and defy some of the expectations from all the analysis and the analytics, the experts out there, that he can defy those odds. So the similarities between the quarterbacks for me is what's going to possibly make, like you said, this game closer than a lot of people believe. It's more than 2 touchdown underdog Oklahoma is. And the last time that there was a team in the college football playoffs that had this big of a spread against them, it was Oklahoma the last time that they were there. So they're going to be tired of being embarrassed. And so with all this stuff going on, this could be a very more interesting matchup than most people believe. And with as far as motivating factors go as well, as far as some of these internal factors, I believe you have a quote for us that you can bring up that might be another reason why Oklahoma can play a lot closer game than people are expecting.
Yes, this is from Patrick Queen from the LSU linebacker, or a LSU linebacker. He said, I'm quoting, "O-line not great, running backs not great. We're going to dominate them. And I am very confident in what we got." End quote.
So we've seen this before in different games throughout probably the centuries of college football. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. People that come in, they're overly confident. Sometimes it works to their favor, and sometimes it backfires. I mean, how do you feel about hearing a quote like this come from this LSU?
I mean, I think it's going to motivate them even more But I don't. It's still not going to change the outcome of this game because LSU, they're still too talented, in both sides of the ball pretty much. They might make it more interesting for another half a quarter or something maybe. I still see a double-digit difference in this game.
Okay.
At least 10 points, I think.
10 points instead of like 14.
Yeah.
So that'd be a little bit closer in your eye. Yeah, enough to keep people watching throughout the whole thing instead of a blowout like a lot of people believe.
Yeah, I never thought it was going to be a blowout anyways, no matter what.
Well, I would hope not, at least, just because of it being the college football playoffs. I don't necessarily mind quotes like this. I don't think it's going to bite LSU in the butt whatsoever. I don't think so. I actually enjoy the confidence coming from the player. And in all reality, as of right now, because of what's on paper and because of what everybody is thinking, there's not any reason for him to believe that they would not dominate anyways. So you might as well go into that mindset. If I'm sending my guys out onto the field, I'm going in already believing that we're going to win. Knowing that I'm going to win. That's how I'm going to go into every game, knowing that I'm going to win instead of hoping that or hopefully thinking that that's going to happen.
And something else, he did also say that he likes Jalen Hurts. He's not like downplaying their offense or anything. He just thinks that they're just that much better than them.
Okay, well that's actually a really good point because that makes it even better for me to see. It doesn't sound cocky or arrogant; it just sounds confident. And there's a big difference between confident and arrogant.
Yeah, because he did compliment Jalen Hurts.
That's good. That's good. And the smartest coaches out there, just like Nick Saban will tell you, you absolutely never downplay your opponent because that's the absolute worst thing you can do. You should talk them up, and up, and make them seem like the greatest thing ever, even if it's just a team like Furman. You should talk about how great and all the good things that they do and try not to focus on the bad things because you want to make sure that your players are ready. And with the bowl season being as crazy as it's been so far, sometimes it can come to external factors. So for me, if there's any way that Oklahoma could win this game, and just like you, I don't think Oklahoma wins this game. I've got LSU probably winning by 10 or more points. But if there is any way, it's like I said earlier, it comes down to the quarterback play, and it comes down to if Jalen Hurts is more determined than Joe Burrow is, then Oklahoma will have a chance.
And can somebody finally put pressure on Joe Burrow?
That's
because this year nobody has.
And this year, especially in this game right now, LSU is going to be facing an offense that's better than, I'd say, any of the offenses that they've played all year. This is the best offense that LSU is going to be facing. And the way that LSU's defense has become inconsistent throughout the year, to me, they're going to have to match Oklahoma stride for stride. And it's going to be one of those shootout type of matchups, at least for a little while, at least for the first 3 quarters at the very least. It's not going to be a blowout, I don't believe. I think you're going to be going back and forth, blowing punches until one of them just gets a little bit more tired than the other, and we see who is able to come out on top and head to the national championship.
I agree.
The team that they'll be facing in that national championship will be either Ohio State and Clemson. We're going to come to that when we do our next video. So if you watch this one, go ahead and go over to the other one where we'll talk about that. We thank you guys for watching. I want you to continue to follow us on Twitter at Fumble Fever and subscribe to YouTube at Fumble Fever as well. And don't forget to hit the bell.
Yep.